it's Deborah Poneman, founder of Yes to Success, where we share knowledge and tools for you to live your ultimate life and ageless, anti-aging for your brain, your body, and your future. And one of the things I've noticed lately is that there is a lot of fear out there. Have you noticed that too? I mean, that's the bad news. The good news is that I'm also noticing that people are more and more willing to look at their fears, to face them, to get to the root and kind of root them out. I've noticed that folks aren't just blindly going through life, but they're pausing and noticing and course correcting in so many ways. In fact, in my Success Circle program that I offer for my advanced students. I mean, you're all advanced, but these are the students that have taken Yes to Success and Yes to Success 2.0. In Success Circle, we were discussing what was keeping people from self-realization. I mean, real, true self-realization, like you think that, or you used to think was a state of awareness reserved only for the yogis in the Himalayas. And I shared that I believe what keeps us from going all the way to the mountaintop are actually two things. One, as the great Byron Katie would say, is not loving what is, not accepting and, in fact, loving the perfection of every moment, no matter how unlovable it may seem. And two, it's lack of willingness to face what scares you. I really believe that those scary things that show up on our paths are our greatest gifts because when we face them, we find on the other side that we're one step closer to our own self realization. And in my class, when I asked everyone who was really committed to go for the gold, even if it meant stepping way outside your comfort zone and feeling discomfort, every hand went in the air. I think that's really unique to these times. So not only do I see that people are more willing to step outside their comfort zones and to do the scary stuff in order to live their dreams, I'm also sure that, well, you've heard so many teachers say, if you're not scaring yourself every day, you're not thinking big enough. People are starting to think really big. And something my friend Mary Pat Knight of Leaders Inspired once said, when you do something outside your comfort zone, not only is that where your success lies, but your comfort zone expands. So if this is your comfort zone and you do something here, your comfort zone becomes that big. So the remarkable reward of constantly doing things outside your comfort zone is that doing the hard stuff becomes easy. But then there comes a point where you're called on to take the big risk, the one where you really need to, for example, stand up for your truth and risk something big like not getting other people's approval. I was on a call recently with the diversity committee of the Transformational Leadership Council, and we were talking about how one of the greatest reasons we don't stand in our truth is that we're afraid that we might lose friends or clients. So we do this dance to try and please all of the people all of the time, which basically will never work. It's just not possible. The wonderful Lisa Nichols shared something that really struck at the heart of this. She said, the times demand that you evict the need to protect your image. Now, what does that mean? Evict the need to protect your image. Well, it's a scary thing to do, but it doesn't look like I totally support a woman's right to choose, but I'm not going to say it on my podcast. What if I lose the people who aren't into that? Or I totally believe that corporations need to embrace policies that further diversity, equity, and inclusion, but I'm not going to share that with my community. What if people leave or don't want to do business with me anymore? So basically, what you're saying is that you're willing to forego the impact for the future of the planet that sharing your position might have in order to protect your client base. But if you notice that people who change the world don't play it safe, it doesn't take courage to be silent, and it's not convenient to speak up. But truth is never convenient, and growth is never convenient. Lisa went on to say, this I know for sure. For every 7 people who leave your database, 70 will come in if you stand in your truth. When I made the commitment years ago to stand on my truth, I'm sure I lost a lot more than 7 people, but I'm sure I gained something greater than 70 people. I gained self-love, self-respect, and I was telling the universe, I know you will provide for me if I do what I feel is right, even if others disagree. If you stand up for your truth, whatever that is, and lose friends, are those the friends you want in your life anyway? If you lose followers, are those your peeps? And it's not that I want people to leave my community who have a different worldview than I do, because everyone is absolutely entitled to his or her own political and social worldview. And I'm not right and they're not wrong. And it doesn't mean we can't love each other and learn from each other. But the point is that I used to stay silent because I wasn't okay with people not liking me. I'm so fine with it now. I'm not fine with being silent about anyone thinking they are better or more worthy than anyone else. I'm not fine at all with things like that. But I know that it takes courage to be brave and stand up for truth when it can affect your livelihood. But courage and bravery don't come with convenience. If it's true conviction, it will probably cost you something. The greatest cost could even be your life. So what? I think we all agree that this bag of bones is not the end of the line. You know, many teachers say that fear shows up not because you're on the wrong path, but because you're on the right path. If you're not afraid, you're probably not playing big enough. Fear shows up as you get closer and closer to making your true contribution to the world. And no one promised any of us that life would be easy or safe. But when you overcome the big challenges, face the really scary stuff, that's when the greatest growth takes place. And I think we're up for it. And if the truth be known, ultimately, we're not doing what we do for outcomes anyway. We do it for the personal growth that takes place on the way to the outcome, whatever it turns out to be. And we do what we do to learn to trust our inner voice, our intuition, to do what your intuition is asking you to do, even if it's scary. Sometimes people say, but I don't know what my intuition wants me to do. Yes, you do. You just don't know if you want to do it because intuition is not linear. And sometimes what that voice tells us to do seems unreasonable. But when you listen, you're putting the outcome in the hands of that intelligence that knows exactly what she is doing. One of my favorite quotes in the Bible, not that I'm any kind of biblical scholar, but I love Psalm 126 that says, when man says, show me and I will trust you, God says, trust me and I will show you. And finally, I'm going to send you off with a quote that my son once shared with me. I don't know where he heard it from, but he loved it and I love it. He said, you relax on a plane even though you don't know the pilot. You relax on a ship even though you don't know the captain. You relax on a bus even though you don't know the driver. Why don't you relax in life knowing that the creator is in control? And I'll add, why don't you live your truth knowing that the creator is in control? So that's it for this week. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love to you.